Welcome to today's Orchestration meeting. As I said, Travis isn't going to join us. Bill Mikkel is missing. Anyway, lessons learned, orchestrator error handling, PR. I have an open PR for the error handling. Turned out that the release candidate 2 for Nautilus was delayed, at least for over a week now. So if I had knew that before, then I could have merged that already last week. But on the other hand, it's kind of a medium risk PR, and we have suboptimal QA in the orchestrator. So I'm feeling okay that we haven't merged that PR till now. So, and I'm going to merge that, not going to merge that for the release. So it will end up in the first patch release. On Brooke, Sebastian, you want to continue?
Yeah, so I don't have much to report this week. I'm still working on 2 of my PRs, one for memory auto-tuning and one for running Ceph services using the Ceph user. It's currently blocked by the upstream CI, I believe. So yeah, it's still in progress.
Yeah.
That's it.
Jeff, any news from you from your side?
No, not really. I may not attend this meeting going forward too much longer because I'm going to be working on some other stuff that's not really orchestrator related for a while. But yeah, not too much to report on my end from orchestrator land. So
okay, fine with me. From the deep sea land, Tim is still working on enabling the deep sea orchestrator module. I think it's not yet merged because he had some problems with deep sea. And in general, with their deep sea now supports deploying Ceph iSCSI. I think that PR is already merged. So at least we have some progress on that front. And that's it, basically, for today's meeting, if we don't have any other big topics.
I have one topic, a problem that appeared today morning while I was working on the Ceph iSCSI integration in dashboard.
Mm-hmm.
We access Ceph iSCSI gateways with a REST API through a REST API,
mm-hmm.
and for what we do to know that the URL for that REST API is that we fill in the service URL attribute in the service descriptor class of the orchestrator, as we have already discussed previously. So the catch today was that I enabled HTTPS SSL support in Ceph iSCSI API, and now I need to know if I need an option to basically tell the dashboard to not validate the SSL certificate. Otherwise, I can't access the API. So while that is easy, if I have a configuration option in the dashboard just to force it to avoid the validation, when I start thinking that how I'm going to get that information from the orchestrator, that is not that clear. And then I start thinking, oh wait, actually we have more information that whenever we want to access a REST API, we have more information that we require besides the URL. So not only we need the URL, but we might also need some credentials to access that API, and also these options like if we should validate or if we should avoid the certificate validation.
The dashboard already has a problem with Grafana, for example. If Grafana uses an invalid or self-signed
A self-signed certificate, yeah.
And
so we always need some way to pass the information that this kind of things to access a REST API. So I'm not sure how you guys want to this kind of information to be populated on the service descriptor class.
I don't know. So on one side we would have that thing implemented for all orchestrators. On the other hand, it feels strange to pass something like if we should validate the SSL certificate in the orchestrator. It's kind of an alien thing to add to the orchestrator.
Yeah.
It's not something that's information provided to the dashboard, but more of a hint that the certificate is invalid or not. And if yes, should it ignore the certificate? And I don't know. Would it be a big deal to implement that check in the dashboard? Very similar to Grafana?
No, that's already there. The only thing is when we get the iSCSI configuration from the orchestrator, what should we do? Because right now we already have an option there, a command to force the SSL certification, to force the avoidance of the SSL verification. Maybe we can also use the same command even if the iSCSI gateway URLs come from the orchestrator. Maybe that's the option. But then we also need, what about the credentials?
I think credentials are fine in the orchestrator interface. I think that's a valid thing to pass on to the clients of the orchestrator. But I'm worrying a bit about checking SSL certificate. When should the orchestrator know that the SSL certificate should be checked and when not?
Yep. I also don't know the answer to that.
So it might be that
maybe this is just the dashboard only configuration.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So, but I think that credentials passing onto the dashboard might make sense in the orchestrator.
Yep. We just need to make sure that there's not a security vulnerability by doing this.
Yeah. On the other hand, the credentials are stored within the manager module anyway, in the dashboard module. So as long as it is stored within the manager, everything should be fine. But Tim discovered a thing that mon commands are in plain text written down to the audit log. So every mon command that contains passwords is written down to the log file.
Yeah. One thing, I think that depending of the external orchestrator, probably the configuration that we are going to need is going to be different. For example, in the Ansible orchestrator, now we are using one user, one password, and well, we are using we are doing not validating the certificates, but this is going to change. We are going to use TLS mutual authentication, okay? And this is something that is going to happen only, I don't know, but in this moment is something that I know that is going to be present in the Ansible orchestrator. And possible in deep C, you will decide to use another kind of approach. So maybe we will need this kind of to specify in the configuration of the orchestrator this kind of things. I think depending of the external orchestrator that you are going to use, probably you will need different settings, and we need a place where to put these settings. It could be the manager key store value. I think that is a good place, but if we avoid to use passwords, because I think that in the manager we haven't got any kind of encryption for the password. So I think that in any case, what we need is always a place where to specify the configuration that we are going to use in the external orchestrator.
Yeah. But maybe with the exception of if the client should check the certificate or validate the certificate, because it really sounds like that's something that
well, it's something that I think that if in this moment Ricardo needs that, probably it has sense to add this kind of setting to the configuration of the module in order to make work deep C in the way that is working in this moment. I think.
No, I don't need this, and this is for Ceph SCSI service, and it's only for it's only for services deployed by the orchestrator. And yeah, I agree with Sebastian. This is the kind of configuration option that it should be. It's the responsibility of the dashboard to know if it should validate or not the SSL certificate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So Miguel, you want to share something from the Ansible side, or no news?
No, sorry. Unfortunately, this last week I has been working in other things, and well, it seems that is stopped. My plans is to start this week with modifications in the Ansible runner service in order to run with the TLS, and let's see if it could happen. Okay, I hope. I am a little bit with a little bit of delay because I wanted to finish things last week, and it wasn't possible for me to finish. So let's see. this week, I think that maybe I have more look. I will try.
Okay. Sage, any news from the RC too?
Alfred is building it, but he disappeared off IRC, so I'm not positive. But hopefully.
Okay.
There's a build going. I'm not sure. Going.
Okay. And we are through already.
That's just a quick question. That RC is the blast blocker for getting a Nautilus RC Ceph image. for like end-to-end testing for all the rest of this. Is that right? Because we're missing the architectures before, or did we already work around that?
You mean AMD 64?
Yeah.
Actually, we haven't tried to rerun the CI. And I haven't checked. We had packages now. So
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, once this one's built, you can check. Okay. Is everything else?
I guess we can try again.
Sebastian, is everything else good to go for Nautilus from the orchestrator perspective?
Yep.
No blockers?
No blockers. No
Okay.
known blockers.
Not yet. Give it time. Yeah, the only one I was worried about was the pull request from Volker that fixes the localized config options. I think that's still broken in its current form, both in master and in the pull request.
That's more like I think the dashboard makes use of that thing.
Right. Okay.
The orchestrator is not yet using that API.
Sounds good. Okay.
And I think blinking lights, anything will end up in the first patch release for Nautilus.
Yeah. Okay. Is there somebody still fiddling with that?
Volker had made a review of that pull request, and
all right, I think
I'm going to look at it, and
okay.
then it's basically finished, at least from the command line interface side. So then we are now waiting for that thing in DeepC and in the DeepC orchestrator, and maybe Rook and the Rook orchestrator.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think we need an image that has the right storage management for the Rook side. Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Thanks, everyone.
See you. Bye.
Sebastian.
Yeah.
Seb, actually, other one. Sebastian.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the last piece for the blinking lights is just getting the LSM CLI, a recent version of it, in our Ceph container image.
So
the last piece, but the next blocker or whatever. But it's one of those things where I think the version in CentOS is too old. We need to pull something out of EPEL or something like that. Can you help out with that? I don't know if it's just a hack in the Docker file or something to grab a random package from.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah. I just need to know the name of the package, I guess, and
okay.
It's just pip. Well, we can take that on RC, I think.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll send you the info. Cool. Right. Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Yep. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.